Welcome to Left On Wed.
Bite-sized tips for people getting hitched. Georgia Fletcher.
Adam Sini.
In the same room.
How did we get here?
In this part of town.
I fell in a duck pond once.
What? I was not expecting you to go straight. Okay. Yeah.
Start at the ending, work back.
What?
Great narratives.
You fell in a duck pond once.
Yeah, we used to go and feed the ducks. And did
Okay.
you know you shouldn't feed ducks bread? It's actually really toxic for them.
What?
You shouldn't feed ducks bread.
Is this why you fell in the pond?
No, well, I was
Why?
trying to feed
oh my
the
God,
ducks.
you've given me so much information in the first 30 seconds of this episode. Okay, keep going.
So we used to go to this bridge and feed the ducks. And I thought, you know what? I can do better. I can get closer. So I went around and I stood on a rock and I was in my full school uniform and I slipped in.
Oh no.
I did.
Is
That's
that-
how I enter receptions now. That's how to elevate your reception, by slipping in
Oh my
and
goodness.
dancing your way to the dance floor.
Whoa.
Would you like to know more about my duck story?
Well, why can't ducks have bread? Why is it?
Well, I Googled
Yeah, please.
and it's not good for them.
Expands in their stomach.
It does.
Are they celiac?
Oh, I don't know. They haven't had an assessment yet. They need to go for their allergy test.
They're a bit of gooses, aren't they?
They're being a
Duck,
bit of a
duck,
goose.
goose.
By
Hey.
duck goose.
Duck, goose.
I've never played that at a wedding before.
Because you could do that to elevate your wedding.
You could.
Reception experience.
Imagine the chaos.
So this episode, you might have seen by our brilliant podcasting skills that we've worked it in already. It's all about elevating your reception experience. There's a whole episode on the ceremony. This one is focusing on that reception. We want to know, how do we make this the best reception experience for the guests and for the couple?
And for the vendors as a bonus, you know.
I had the most beautiful couple yesterday had a meeting and said, just so you know, I've been very clear with my planner that I want all my vendors to have scheduled breaks where they can have something to eat, they can have a drink, and no one bothers them for a little bit. And I put it in my run sheet because I want to make sure that they have the best time.
Who is that
I know.
and where did you
I
find
love
them?
them so much. Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Can I come to that wedding too? I
Yeah,
would like a
sure.
scheduled break.
Yeah. I was also like, I'm sweet as the MC. I'll find myself. But they were like, that's very lovely, especially for like your photographer and videographer. They work
It's
their
just
asses
the
off.
thought because we see a lot on Facebook pages. We're there. There's a lot of vendors lurking.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're there, soz.
And they say, why should I have to pay
Yeah.
for my vendors
I know.
to have food and a break?
I know. Isn't that
Does
awful?
that not blow your mind?
I know, especially when everyone works so hard, but those photographers and videographers, oh my goodness, from start to go, they are on their feet all day, running around, putting a smile on, like trying to get the best out of people. They work their asses off on the day. Everyone does, but like it's physical, right?
I had the great privilege of meeting and working with Dane from the Salty Shuttle
brilliant
last night,
man,
and
yep.
he may as well have just inhaled his food.
Yeah.
It was just one big breath.
Yeah,
and
right?
then we're ready
And
to
then
go
they're
back
gone.
out there.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't
it was
it?
incredible.
Yeah. So like, why wouldn't you feed your vendors? Of course. They're doing a 12-hour day. Can you imagine being on your feet doing a hospo job like that for 12-hour day and then not getting to sit down for 15 minutes and just have some food?
Holy dooly.
Yeah.
And it's always scheduled at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
All the food has come out to all the guests, and it's just a quick 10 or 15 minutes before the next bit of formalities happen or the dance floor opens.
So Georgia.
Is that a trumpet? That's one way to...
Sorry. That just came out as my trumpet. That was gross, wasn't it? I had a banana before we started recording, and bananas make me burpy. I love bananas.
Beg your pardon.
Burp your pardon. I do apologize to all the listeners who didn't want to
okay.
hear that. When I think about great receptions, on a base surface level, like, I think about good food,
Good drinks.
good drinks, good company,
Good dance floor.
good music, right? Just the
Just
real
a few
easy
things to
stuff
consider.
putting out. Yeah, just a couple of real good things to
They
consider.
don't cost a thing.
Yeah, easy. And, you know, we could go through all those things individually, but I think it's just worth saying, think about every aspect in every single part of the room and how can we elevate that and make that. It doesn't have to cost you money, but how can we make that even more special for your client experience? Client? Your guests aren't your clients. They might be.
Depends on what your job is in the real world.
Yeah, if you're a psychologist and you bring along all of your clients, it's weird. That's weird. You know? You don't want to see your psychologist in a public setting.
No.
They know too much.
Yeah, but colleagues can come. They're fun.
Who cares?
Teachers, nurses, you know how to have a good time.
So where do you look at to elevate in those aspects? What springs to your mind when we say those sort of just base surface level things? What do you like?
Consistent service of good food.
Love that.
Substantial food. Last night there was a grazing station and it was there the entire night. It looked
cool.
fantastic.
Sick.
So you cannot sustain your guests on just a grazing station. You need to have other food coming out. But what I really loved at beta events is as the guests arrived at 6:30 to the reception venue, the grazing station was there, but it stayed there for hours into the night.
Yeah,
so
nice.
in between food service, they could go and pick at the grazing platter. It was huge, meters long, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah, cool.
In an outdoor environment, you may not be able to get away with that with sun and animals and you know about bees.
Yeah, I know about bees. I had the other night, similar sort of thing, but we've talked about this before as well. It's when all the food was done, they brought out a huge ham with bread rolls. And that sat there, and they I think they cut some off, and then they would just bring it all out and just keep replacing it through the night, so people could just help themselves to a beautiful like Christmas ham roll as they pleased if they were hungry through the night.
On Instagram the other night, Grow Wild put up a burger bun station. Did you see that?
No.
So one of their weddings, they had a make your own burger.
cute.
Wouldn't that have been fun?
Yeah.
So good food and elevating your reception in terms of the good drinks
Yep.
and food and drink service is very important.
And I think it's also, when we talk about drinks, yes, we talk about alcoholic drinks, but also non-alcoholic drinks and good ones having at reception, I think is really important. I had a wedding last week and they had, in those big tap things. What are they called?
oh,
What are they called? When you have a drink in a thing and there's a tap.
a cocktail, a tap.
A tap thing where you just
a
get a
slushy
drink.
machine.
No, it's just a water dispenser and you put drinks in it.
Just a drink station.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Where you put a place where drinks go, a vessel to get a drink.
A jug?
And they were just delicious mocktails,
A
is what I'm trying
dispenser?
to say. Yeah, it was just a bloody place to get.
Why were you trying to over-explain
I
that?
don't know, because I have an issue.
It was like half charades.
But like something
Half
that
could have been summed up in 2 words.
and
Water
something
dispenser.
that so does not matter
It
what
looked
the
good.
vessel was.
It looked good.
My point is that they had a great non-alcoholic option, which was there were 2 mocktails. So it was like a tropical juice sort of number, and I think they had like a mocktail pina colada. And they had lots of kids there, so they could have that because they were just sort of juices. And then they had, so people were hydrated through the night as well.
And
I think
through
it was a
that
great idea.
performance, I was able to name a few other things like having kegs and slushy machines.
Yeah.
And other sorts
Fun.
of fun things.
Right. If you're going to do intros into the room, right, you can make them, if that's your thing, that's a big moment, right?
Okay.
Everyone sits down. They've had that bit in between. They sit down. And then if you're those people that reckon you can go for it, great entrances into the room can really lift the vibe. Because from the start of the reception, what we're doing now is we want to start, lifting the energy, lifting the vibe, getting people excited for when the dance floor party time happens. And that's a
Yes.
great opportunity to do it. So if
is
you have
great.
a wedding party that, want to dance in, you can get a different song for each one. They do silly dances or whatever. Or you intro everyone in as a group and they get into it. You get everyone standing. You play Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, let's get
Yeah.
loud. Yes.
And then people go off. They're swinging napkins on top of their heads. And it's like, what an exciting way to start the reception.
Yeah, I love that.
What else could you do about that time there?
The reception entrance.
Yeah.
Let's squeeze in as many formalities as close to the beginning as possible.
Yes, I love what a good idea.
While you've got everyone standing,
Yep.
waving their napkins
Yep.
around like absolute lunatics. Cut your cake.
Yes.
Do your first dance.
Oh.
Do your speech.
Yeah, why not?
Squeeze in so many things while you're front and center.
Yep.
Less
And we've-
transition time.
And we've got everyone's attention as well. Like the more times you have to get people's attention and break the room, break the conversation, you know what I mean? It's harder to get them and they
Imagine
care
being
less for you.
constantly interrupted.
It's so
imagine-
annoying. It's so annoying. But I see what you're saying. You could walk in because that cake cutting, we talk about this cake cutting all the time. Doesn't have to happen. But walk in, cut your cake, it's gone. Do your speech, love that. Do your first dance, get someone else. I'm actually a big fan of, we do the intro into the room, everyone sits down, and then we can start with the first sort of speeches immediately. We've got everyone's attention. Why not? I think it's a great time to get it done. And a lot of the time, your speech givers are probably going to be a little bit nervy and want to get it done so they can enjoy the night too.
Agreed.
So get it done. Get it out of the way. And then we have this dance hall that can open at the right time, that can be ready to go, rock and roll.
How else do we elevate our reception?
I'm thinking about just the layout of how it happens.
Accessibility, super duper important.
The whole thing, right? How you place your tables, where you put your tables, what style. I mean, we're seeing a lot. I like the long shared
Me
tables. I love it. I think it's a bit better.
Yeah, it depends on the space and how many people you have. I often have to put my teacher voice on and say, please stand behind your chairs, really squish them right in.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to have your reception entrance and they're coming up the aisles, which always looks very effective, and you can engage with lots of people as you come up. So being able to use the space properly, and you do need to be very considerate of elderly people who may be using walking frames, walking sticks, and where they're going to be positioned. I often will suggest to couples, people that are hard of hearing, not to just to be sensitive around where you put them with speakers.
Yeah, smart.
That's really, really important, whether you want them up close because they really can't hear or it's going to be too loud.
We've also talked about before when you're doing your seating plan is like possibly leaving a little bit of room on the end of each table so you could walk around and go chat with people. Like, I think that's really cool. The couple can be like, okay, I'm going to go and just have a chat with these people and just sit with them for a second and move around the room nicely. Another thing that I see a lot of, and it's coming more and more exciting to me, is breakout areas in the reception, right? Especially for when the dance floor opens. Not everyone loves to dance, and we just see this time as like, you know, mingle, party time, or all formalities are over. Having like little areas where there's like might be couches or little side areas where it's not as loud for people who might, you know, don't want to be bashed by the music.
Yeah, it's
have a
interesting you say that.
conversation.
Like balcony areas are really good.
Yeah.
I did a wedding recently where as I was getting my Uber to head back to my car, I noticed a lot of people outside, and even I shared the lift with someone who said, I just need some fresh air.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting too.
Well, and being aware of the people who might not be so extroverted, who might need time away as well to reset and recharge. So having little areas where people can go to and just be like, okay, that's a great quieter space is something to think about as well.
It will be very venue dependent though, depending on the space they have.
Definitely. But maybe you have a DIY venue and there's a little, even just a corner of the room where it's like, we're going to put a couple couches here. So when people want to just chill out and sit down there and watch the dance floor. One of my favorite things to do is watch the dance floor, by the way.
People watching, it's fascinating.
I love it. I find my favorite loosest person and just like follow them through the dance floor and just watch them what they do. Another thing that I think is really important is keeping these formalities toy like a toiger. Speeches, keep them toy. Time them, tell them how long, meow at them, split them up. We don't want too many speeches in a row, you know, 2 different times that we're going to do speeches. So we're getting people engaged, excited. Then they can go have a drink.
So we've talked about elevating your reception through the serving of alcohol and food. With the dance floor, we can absolutely keep those formalities nice and snappy, having a really nice tight run sheet with the help of other vendors or hiring a professional MC. What about the music? How about asking your guests to put forward a song request so that it's not done on the night? Have it as part of your RSVP to share your favorite song. And that way everybody has a reason to get up onto the dance floor, because what's your dance floor song?
Murder on the Dance Floor.
Oh, I love Murder on the Dance Floor. We've talked about this, and I love Let's Get Loud. And I will not say no to the Nutbush because you love
Nutbush.
You love choreographed dancing.
Don't tell me what I like. It upsets me. Like there's no tomorrow, Georgia. I love the idea of on your invitations, on your RSVP, please send us a song that's going to get you moving on the dance floor, because if you have a DJ or a band, they're trying to vibe out you as well. And they're professionals and they'll know how to vibe out the crowd. But if you give them a little cheat sheet and say, here's 50 songs that our guests have requested, they may not play them all, but they may be like, oh, the dance floor's dying a little bit. Okay, I'll go to the list. Oh, this is going to work. And then they can go down this whole alleyway of, oh, they love Blink-182, so they love those early noughties punk rock songs. We'll go into that or whatever.
Last night, the couple's last song was that Fred Again, Adore You.
Yeah, cute.
And turns out that the couple plus the groom's sisters had gone to the concert.
Oh, yeah.
And they found out that Adore You was actually written for his sister. So they had a moment getting all teary with the sisters and the siblings. And it was like this coming together moment where the song then suddenly had all this meaning. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
I liked it too.
And on top of that, we can play some games during the reception.
Oh yeah, you love a good game. Trivia, heads or tails.
Trivia, the shoe game.
The shoe game.
Classic. People love it.
Yeah.
You know, if that's your thing, I don't shoehorn stuff in there just to do it.
Yeah.
And then little activities around the reception for people to do, like George's crosswords.
I love a crossword.
Disposable cameras, Polaroids.
Put the flash on.
Photo booths. All just fun.
We've got a whole episode on
interactive
modern
things.
vendors bonus ideas. Funky.
That's not what it's called. Oh my goodness me.
21st century wedding ideas.
I've got a wedding coming up where they have tattoos, both of them, right?
Oh.
So they wanted to get a tattoo artist there to do like short little tattoos on people, but they just couldn't make it work. So what they're doing is they're both going to go get a new tattoo before the wedding of something fun, and then they're going to get them made into little rub-on tattoos for all their guests. And then they're going to have them there, and it's like, join us in our new tattoo, and they're going to like have people have all their
Interested
tattoos.
to know what they get.
Is that cute? Yeah, they don't know yet.
Oh.
But these are people that have, hundreds of tattoos.
You've
so it's
got
not really a
heaps
big
of
deal.
tattoos.
I don't
You've
really
got
have
some
that many.
Got some good ideas though.
I've got ideas. I've got ideas. Oh my goodness.
Are you
Right?
going to rub that tattoo on?
Why isn't there a toothbrush where you put the toothpaste canister inside the base of the toothbrush and then you press a button and it just squeezes a little bit out through the bristles?
And becomes a tattoo? How is
No,
this
I'm just telling you, you
connected?
said you had ideas and this is my business idea. And you just brush your teeth. Do you know why they don't do this? Because big toothpaste knows that you use too much toothpaste every single time. And then you buy toothpaste more often and they make more money. But if they had a serving suggestion that you pressed a button and it came out automatically, we'd use less toothpaste and we'd give less to big toothpaste.
Or you can get tooth tabs that dissolve and then you are wasting
What are
far less.
you talking about? I'm getting mad at big toothpaste over here for ruining my life.
Surely you have other ideas about elevating your reception and not just keeping your teeth clean.
Not really.
Okay.
Have you? I'm more pissed off at big companies for giving me the wrong serving suggestion, It's all BS.
Are you okay?
Not really. I'm not okay.
Hey, thanks for listening.
We are so happy that you listened. I'm over the moon. In fact, if you want a little bit more, follow us on the socials. Where are we?
You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Left on Wed Podcast.
And if you want to inquire with our services for Celebrant MC and coordination, you can find Georgia at Georgia Fletcher Celebrant.
And you can find Adam at Married by Adam.
Hey, if you have any ideas, questions, topics for episodes, please slide into our DMs. You can send us an email as well, which is
leftonwedpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're loving the podcast, please tell your friends, tell people who are getting hitched. We need you to spread the word like wildfire. Get it out there.
We really want to say a big thank you to Long Reef Golf Club as well for letting us record the podcast here at their incredible wedding venue. So inquire with them today if you're looking for the perfect wedding venue for your private event or your wedding.
See you there soon, Georgia.
See you there.